Hello friends and welcome back. This is a short video and in which I need to make a correction on my last video because there were some faults in the schematic, and I also want to talk in the second part of this video a little bit about things I didn't put in the schematic, not insofar as omitting things but more from which tubes and history, so that you know, have a little bit more background into why this schematic is there. So lots of people always expect schematics to be adding things, but a lot of it is about the removal and the choices. And one of the things is, for example, the driver tube, which is crucial to this design and the sound of this amp. So I'll be talking about the second part. But first let's get into the correction. So this is the new diagram. I just redrawn it. So if you want to take a snapshot, here it is. Maybe I'll just adjust. Oh, let's make it less bright. There you go. That should clear that up. So here's your screenshot. So I'll talk you through the changes in the schematic. So first of all, MFR 58 and Rick G commented that I should post some pinned comment or so, but I decided to just shoot this video. So this is the correction here. They noticed that it was incorrect. This 25 in the power supply for both the driver and the output stage here. Of course, the capacitor is the 25 UF capacitor is referenced to the ground, not the B+. Similar here at the driver stage, same thing. So that's corrected now, and I also added the grid resistors. So for the 4P1L, I've got 120 ohm Dale 1 watt resistor or 2 watt, and here the same, and then a 1K resistor here, which is an ohmite. Which is really needed. I don't know about these. They're in there at the moment. So those are really the additions, and I'm not sure if I had this one in there. It's just a reference to ground. So 2 times 20k or to 33k. I actually don't remember exactly. That doesn't really matter. It's just to ground those arms, so there's no static charge occurring on the speaker end. So, yeah, those are the schematics. So then on to part 2 of this video. So things that didn't make it. So, yeah, lots of things. There's always a lot of schematics out there that have a lot of complexity and added logic. This was a lot about removal of things, and one of those things, of course, was which I talked about, was to remove the bypass capacitor on the input tube. I had many input tubes that I tried for this design, but of course one of the developments over time was to make this a filament supply and in here, and then get rid of the bypass capacitor here. So, and that was a real improvement. And of course one of the challenges then was to get the ripple down to under 1 millivolt, which I've done. To have basically no audible hum in this amp. So that was and many tubes were tried for this, including the idea from Sakuma, which I started out with the 4P1L driving this, and that was just not a good idea. I tried several, a handful, 8 or something indirectly heated tubes. But those didn't work. Even very good ones that have very low distortion, but they just don't have that revealing and a subtle aspect that a directly heated amp can do. And really, if you look at the whole schematic, there's a lot of focus always on the output tubes and which type they are and what you can do with tube rolling, and RCA is better than this one, and Philco or whatever it is, Raytheon. However, the sound from this amp really comes from the driver stage, and so I really like this tube. It has a very nice sound to it, and it is not in terms of coloration. It's very revealing. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't embellish anything. It's a very extremely linear tube, and but it's just a very nice sound, and it works with this in combination. I said doing that as a driver tube, despite having very low plate resistance, because this one has a plate resistance of 1200 ohms. So, well, you put that in here, and of course you get a huge bandwidth through this interstage. But despite that, the tonal character all up is really good with this tube. So it's not always dependent on distortion factors and so on. It's actually the like almost like chef's ingredients, where you have to just get the right mix. And yes, you fall back on technology, and we're using directly heated technology here, but it's still, you have to pick the right one to actually work with these and overall balanced, and perhaps even with the transformers that are used. So that's, in short, really the secret of this design is just the minimalism and making those choices where you can. And the other one, of course, is the power supply. This is extremely important in the power supply, having this sort of current source, if you will. This can deliver current really easily without limitations, despite having stacked up with a regulated voltage supply here. But this makes that work. So this is extremely important. You really can't omit that to get the good results. All right, that was part 2. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you appreciate a little bit of extra context in what was done with this amp. If you have any remaining questions, post them in the comments, and we'll go through part 3 when I get time to record that. So thank you for your attention. Hope to have a great day, and hope to catch you soon as well. Bye bye.